This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
What if the loudest lesson you ever heard was spoken in complete silence? This is Summit After the Storm podcast, and I'm Bart Wilbanks. After spending our first day in Amsterdam, the next day we started out at the Anne Frank house. The moment we stepped inside, everything changed. It was completely silent. Not because anyone told us to be that quiet. There weren't signs or reminders, people just understood. Each one of us wore an audio guide that quietly explained what we were seeing as we walked from room to room. There were no tour guides raising their voices, no conversations between strangers, only Anne's story. As we moved through the Secret Annex, we saw the tiny rooms where 8 people lived in hiding for more than 2 years. The bookcase that concealed the entrance. The walls where Anne had carefully hung pictures. The cramped spaces where every footstep had to be measured. Throughout the house, videos played with excerpts from Anne's diary, and you could hear her own words describing the very room standing before you. No one rushed, no one interrupted, everyone just listened. It was the kind of silence that felt empty. The kind of silence that's filled with respect, filled with grief, but filled with hope. In a world that never stops talking, sometimes the greatest lessons are heard only when we become quiet enough to listen. God often speaks to us the same way, not through noise, not through chaos, but in moments where we slow down long enough to actually hear Him. After the wind, after the earthquake, after the fire, Elijah encountered God in a gentle whisper. 1 Kings 19:11-12. Sometimes God's voice is not louder than the world, but it's quieter, which means we have to become still enough to hear it. Great leaders don't always have the loudest voices. They create space for others to think, to listen, to reflect. Some of the most important decisions you'll ever make won't come while you're rushing from one meeting to the next. They'll come during that quiet moment where you almost stopped. Silence isn't wasted time. It's where wisdom often begins. Walking through the Anne Frank house reminded me that silence can teach what words never could. Maybe today, instead of filling every quiet moment with another notification, another podcast, another distraction, simply sit in the silence for a few minutes. You may discover that God has been speaking all along. You were just finally quiet enough to actually hear Him. If today's episode encouraged you, would you do me a favor? Share it with someone who just may need to hear it. And if you haven't already, be sure to follow Summit After the Storm on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube, or wherever you listen. And you can learn more about the movement in my book, as well as additional resources at summitafterstorm.com. Tomorrow, we'll leave the quiet halls of the Anne Frank house behind and board a train for Paris. Until next time, Keep climbing. Poly poly.